Indias I will speak about in the House today in the coming 4+1 minutes. A very warm good evening to the respected August gathering. Today, I stand before you to vehemently support today's motion. I come from which India? I come from two Indias. I come from an India where we take pride in unity and diversity, yet I come from an India where the youth kills and sheds blood in the name of religion and caste-based politics. I come from an India where we have uniforms to promote equality, yet I come from an India where students wearing saffron shawls threaten one girl without apology. I come from an India where we worship women during the day but cut her down into 35 pieces at night. I come from an India where parents take loans to educate their children, but yet those educated PhD scholars are forced to sell pani puris to fill their stomachs today. Standing here today on this very platform, I say this with a very heavy heart, that this house represents what cannot be said in its halls more than what can be said. The list of unmentionables is longer than the list of mentionables. We cannot say China, we cannot say Pegasus, we cannot say BBC, we cannot say Morbi, we cannot say Rafael, and the list goes on. Madam Speaker, today as a responsible public representative, I choose to walk on my kartavya path by choosing to speak on what I'm going to speak in the coming few minutes today. It is on this precarious eggshells that we, the members of the opposition, walk on every day. The government says, trust us. Ms. Prime Minister, believe me, we want to trust you. We really want to trust you, your party, and the plans that you have for the bright future of our country. But I was just wondering that if youth empowerment is actually taking place, then why is it that every hour, on an average, one student is dying of suicide due to academic stress? The reason is our failed education policies and our failed education structure that is in a dire need to change right now.
माननीय सदस्य, आपसे अनुरोध है कि आप जो भी अपनी बात रख रहे हैं, चेयर को संबोधित करके रखें, ऑपोजिशन को या रूलिंग पार्टी को.
Thank you. India has become the third largest ecosystem for startups, as the government really likes to talk about every now and then. But despite that, I wonder why is it that in the next 5 years, if youth empowerment is actually taking place, in the next 5 years, why is it that 90% of India's startups are expected to be shut down? Giants like Ola, Unacademy, White Hart Jr. have expelled and fired thousands of their employees because of the economic losses they're suffering. Funny that we're expected to talk about job security here. Sundar Pichai and Satya Nadella have been made CEOs of global tech giants like Google and Microsoft. But if youth empowerment is actually taking place, why are they not in India? Why are they not here? The reason is brain drain. The reason is unsupportive and unconducive environment to promote, support and nurture such talents because, ladies and gentlemen, I come from two Indias. I come from an India where we have maids and servants to do our work, yet I come from an India where the youth wants to go to UK, USA and Canada to work under their thumb and do their work. If youth empowerment is actually taking place, then why? Why is the employment of women at a considerably low level of mere 19%? The list of such questions is never ending. But further, moving on. With your bitter and twisted lies, you can trod me down in dust and dirt. But like dust, I will always rise. And like dust, the truth has risen, the truth about India's skill development policies. Let us talk about our government's very favorite, Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, a scheme that involved a whopping 15,000 crore investment in 2015 and 12,000 crore in the 2020 without any evaluation of the success rate of the existing plan that existed in 2015. A scheme that overemphasized and set unrealistic targets that led to very less placements at mere 12%. A scheme where people were running out after numbers without giving any actual employment to youth. A scheme which led to another star in the black and failure stories of the National Skill Development Council, who hasn't run into trouble for the very first time for the record. 650 million Indians under the age 25 and 825 million under the age 35. Moreover, the country's workforce is expected to grow to 1.08 billion by the year 2050. Yet, despite all of this, we are surrounded by nothing but problems, who manifest themselves in different variety of ways. 1.4 million students write competitive exams every year for merely 6,000 general quota seats. uh, general quota seats at the elite IITs. It's tragic and shocking that among 13 million youngsters that join the country's workforce every year, only 1 out of 4 management professionals, 1 out of 5 engineers, and 1 out of 10 graduates are actually employable. The high dropout rate, less teacher to student ratio, and lack of health and hygiene facilities are actually contributing to this trend. The unemployment of our country is 7%, but that of the youth is 34%. This, this unemployed youth, this stressed and uneducated youth is the reason of increasing crime rates in our country because, ladies and gentlemen, mere making of policies is not enough. The successful implementation is also needed. The need here is to enable participation. The need here is to enable shared decision making, creating opportunities to learn, practice and improving skills of the youth. The need here is to increase productivity of the existing workforce and aligning skill training with what the country actually needs, because together we can. आज का भारत सिर्फ आदर्शवादी भारत नहीं है, आज का भारत यथार्थवादी भारत भी है. कभी हम शंकर बनकर खुद विष ग्रहण करके दुनिया को अमृत प्रदान कर सकते हैं, तो कभी हम कृष्ण की तरह अटूट बनकर अस्तित्व की रक्षा भी कर सकते हैं. And as very well put by Franklin D. Roosevelt, we cannot always create a future for the youth. We cannot always create a future for the youth, but we can definitely create a youth for the future. We can definitely create a youth for the future. Thank you so much. Jai